Ever wonder why you can't stop adding things to your cart at 2 a.m.? Or why you bought your third skincare routine this month even though you're broke? Here's the plot twist. It might not be about the products at all. It's about how you attach to people. Stick around because we're about to connect the dots between your childhood, your relationships, and your bank account in ways that'll actually make sense. And yes, we're calling you out, but gently. If you've ever felt like you're shopping to fill a void, or buying things to feel worthy, or spending money you don't have to keep up appearances, this video is your sign to pause that online order and hear us out. By the end, you'll understand why your attachment style might be quietly draining your wallet and what to do about it. Let's get into it. So first, let's talk about what anxious attachment actually is. If you grew up with inconsistent care, maybe your parents were loving one day and distant the next, or you experienced emotional neglect. Your brain learned that love is unpredictable. You have to work for it, earn it, prove you're worthy of it. Fast forward to adulthood, and that shows up in your relationships as anxious attachment. You're the person who needs constant reassurance. You overthink texts. You worry your partner will leave. You're hypervigilant about any shift in their mood or attention. But here's what most people don't realize. That same attachment pattern doesn't just affect your romantic relationships. It affects how you relate to everything, including money and material things. When you have anxious attachment, you're constantly trying to regulate feelings of inadequacy, fear of abandonment, and a deep sense of not being enough. And guess what's really good at temporarily soothing those feelings? Shopping, spending, buying things that make you feel seen, valued, or like you finally measure up. The problem is, it doesn't actually work. You get a hit of dopamine when you buy something new, but that feeling fades fast. Then you're left with the same emotional emptiness, plus a lighter bank account and a pile of stuff you didn't really need. It's a cycle that keeps feeding itself, and most people don't even realize they're stuck in it. Let's break down exactly why anxious attachment leads to anxious spending. Your brain is basically running the same program in both scenarios. First, there's the validation piece. People with anxious attachment constantly seek external validation because they struggle to validate themselves. In relationships, that looks like needing your partner to tell you they love you, missing you, thinking about you. With spending, it looks like buying things that signal status, success, or belonging. Designer bags, the right sneakers, that trending skincare everyone's talking about. You're not just buying the product, you're buying proof that you're worthy, that you fit in, that you matter. Second, there's the fear of scarcity. Anxiously attached people often operate from a place of scarcity rather than abundance. You believe love is limited, so you cling tight. You believe worthiness is conditional, so you hustle to earn it. That same scarcity mindset makes you impulsively buy things because what if it sells out? What if you miss the deal? What if everyone else has it and you don't? Third, spending becomes a soothing mechanism. When you feel anxious, abandoned, or not enough, shopping gives you a quick hit of control and comfort. You can't control whether someone loves you back, but you can control clicking checkout. That tiny moment of agency feels powerful, even though it's temporary. Fourth, there's the people-pleasing angle. Anxiously attached people are often chronic people-pleasers because they learned early on that their needs don't matter as much as keeping others happy. So you overspend on gifts for friends, pick up the tab even when you can't afford it, or buy things to impress people who don't actually care. You're trying to buy love, approval, and acceptance. And finally, anxious attachment creates emotional dysregulation. Your emotions swing wildly based on external cues. Someone doesn't text back? Panic. Your partner seems distant? Spiral. And when you're emotionally dysregulated, you make impulsive decisions, including financial ones. Retail therapy isn't therapy. It's avoidance. All of this creates a pattern where your spending habits mirror your attachment wounds. You're not bad with money. You're trying to meet emotional needs with material solutions, and it's not working. Let's make this concrete with some real-world examples you might recognize. Meet Sarah. Every time she fights with her boyfriend, she ends up on a shopping app buying clothes she doesn't need. She's not even thinking about it. It's automatic. Fight happens, anxiety spikes, phone opens, cart fills. She's trying to regulate the emotional pain of potential abandonment by creating a controlled, predictable dopamine hit. The irony? The debt she racks up actually creates more relationship tension. Or take Marcus. He grew up in a household where affection was conditional on achievement. Now, as an adult, he constantly buys expensive gifts for his friends and dates, even when he's struggling financially. He's terrified that if he doesn't prove his value through generosity, people will leave. He's literally trying to purchase connection. Then there's Jenna. She has 7 half-used planners, 4 fitness memberships, and a closet full of self-help books. Every time she feels anxious or inadequate, she buys something that promises transformation. It's not about the product. It's about the fantasy that this purchase will finally make her feel whole, worthy, enough. Spoiler, it doesn't. These aren't random shopping problems. They're attachment issues wearing a financial disguise. And the solution isn't just budgeting better, though that helps. It's healing the underlying wound. All right, so how do you actually break this cycle? Here are practical, doable steps you can start today. First, pause before purchasing. Create a 24-hour rule. When you feel the urge to buy something, wait. Put it in your cart, but don't check out. Come back in 24 hours. Most of the time, that compulsive urge will pass once your nervous system settles. During that pause, ask yourself, am I trying to buy a feeling? What am I actually trying to soothe right now? Second, identify your emotional triggers. Start tracking when you spend impulsively. Was it after a fight? After scrolling social media and feeling less than? After someone canceled plans? When you notice the pattern, you can start addressing the emotion instead of numbing it with purchases. Journaling helps here. So does therapy. Third, practice self-validation. This is huge for anxiously attached people. You're so used to seeking validation externally that you've forgotten how to give it to yourself. Start small. Notice when you're doing something well. Celebrate yourself without needing someone else to do it first. Affirmations can feel cringe at first, but they actually rewire your brain over time. Try, I am enough as I am. I don't need to prove my worth. Fourth, find healthier dopamine sources. Your brain needs that hit, so give it alternatives. Move your body, dance, go for a walk, call a friend, create something, play with a pet. These activities release dopamine without the financial or emotional hangover. Fifth, set financial boundaries and stick to them. Create a fun spending budget that's realistic and guilt-free. When you give yourself permission to spend a set amount on things that bring you joy, you remove the shame and scarcity. You're not depriving yourself. You're choosing intentionally. Sixth, address the attachment wound directly. Work with a therapist who understands attachment theory. Read books like Attached by Amir Levine or The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. Join support groups. Do the deeper healing work. Your spending habits are a symptom, not the root problem. Seventh, practice gratitude for what you have. Anxious attachment makes you focus on what's missing, what's uncertain, what's not enough. Gratitude rewires that. Every day, write down 3 things you already have that make your life better. It sounds simple, but it shifts your brain from scarcity to abundance. And finally, be patient with yourself. Healing attachment wounds takes time. You're undoing patterns that were formed in childhood. That doesn't happen overnight. Celebrate small wins. Notice progress, even if it's messy. You're not broken. You're just carrying old wounds that need care. So here's your challenge. Before you buy anything this week, pause and ask yourself, what feeling am I trying to buy? Write it down. Get honest. You might be surprised what comes up. And if this video resonated with you, do two things. First, share it with someone who needs to hear this. We all know that friend who shops when they're stressed. Send this their way with love, not judgment. Second, drop a comment below, telling us one thing you're going to try from this video. Are you implementing the 24-hour rule? Starting a spending journal? Gonna actually try that gratitude thing? Let us know. We read every comment, and honestly, your stories help other people feel less alone in this. Your bank account will thank you, but more importantly, your inner child will too. Look, breaking the cycle of anxious spending isn't about willpower or discipline. It's about understanding that your shopping cart is trying to tell you something. Listen to it. Heal the wound underneath. And remember, you were always worthy, even before you bought a single thing to prove it. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself. And maybe, just maybe, close that shopping tab before you go. We'll see you in the next one.